Happy Peeps, Suzanna here to share. This is my title page for my December daily. I used my Fuse, as you can see here, and some sequins from SpiegelMom scraps. So I am using a 6x8 simple stories page from a snapbook, and what that pink thing is there is it's a star that I cut out as a template. So to my left I am heating up my Fuse. It just sits in that little holder there, and what I've done is I line up the Fuse ruler because I like the straight lines from using the Fuse ruler. It took me a while to figure this out, but I line that guide up against the gutter of the paper guide, which is what the star is, and I typically line up either the inches or the centimeter from the ruler to the end of where I'm going. I like to push the Fuse away from me or roll the Fuse away from me, and so I've chosen like the number 5 on the end of the ruler, and I have lined that up with the end of the star, and so I know that that is where I want to go. I happen to have a Fuse mat, and so with the guide and the Fuse mat, this goes very quickly for me. I was about to say slowly. It goes very quickly for me and is rather stress-free. When I first started doing this, I was using that actual mat that I've got my Fuse mat on top of, and I've got indentations in that mat, so I had to buy a new one. And then I moved to the glass mat, and the glass mat is good, but I really recommend this Fuse mat if you can afford it or have it in your budget, because being able to store that the Fuse in the little pocket itself, and you do definitely get a much better cut with the Fuse mat. And again, if you don't have the Fuse mat, a glass cutting mat is perfect too. You have to go just a little bit slower, and you want to really roll the Fuse rather than push it, and you don't want to go too fast and you don't want to go too slow. So I've done all sides but that one of the star. You can kind of see that there. And then because I want to leave this as a giant pocket, the way that the setup for the snapbooks is that you can see that top hole punch there. I would not be able to have holes that matched up and got all of this star in my book. So I then went and got O Star Spangled Banner or something like that. I'll put it in the box down below, and I wanted some stars in there. So I supplemented my Oh What Fun mix from SpiegelMom scraps with 3 of these white stars. Again, I didn't have to. I just wanted something a little bit bigger in there. And once I push those down into the star, I will then flip back that pink template that I created in Silhouette Studio and close off the pocket there. So my temporary adhesive artist tape was what I used to line that up, and you can see how the star goes straight to the actual guide. So my Fuse has stayed hot. I warmed it up, and it stays warm in that little pocket thing while I want to use it. And that, my friends, is a giant shaker star, which is the title page for my 2017 December daily. I am going to once again try this project. So I now have the Fa La 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 collection and my Big Shot, and I'm going to choose 4 papers for each number in 2017. And the other collection that I have to work with my December daily, I bought the LE Studio December kit. And so I knew I wanted green and red because there's a lot of green and red in the LE Studio, and I wanted gold. So that is a sort of a matte finish gold. It looks kind of like a yellow, and I actually kind of like it, and so I might incorporate a little bit more yellow into the traditional colors just for a little spin there. These are dies from, I have had these for ages and ages, and I'm not actually sure where they're from. But I love the numbers. I also have the shadow outline for them, and I will cut each of those, run that through the Big Shot. And in a minute here, you will see that I don't actually end up liking the order that I chose of the paper. So I've got that green for the 0, and then the 2 is in gold. And I don't like the gold first. I prefer to have the gold nestled in between the 2 and the 1. And so in a minute, you'll see me try and line them up, and I will actually end up recutting those numbers. So because the star is at an angle on the page, I also want to play with that angle. It was very hard to see what I was doing on the mat, so I thought I put some white paper underneath it. So you can see how I've angled these numbers. I have them overlapping just a little bit other than the 7. And there's something about that yellow. The weight is better distributed with the green first. So I will recut these. I'm trying to think who the manufacturer of that die is. Oh, I can't think of it off the top of my head. So there's a much better color gradation there. The weight just works a little better, and I'm just going to lay them out the way that I want them. And I want a gold thread in there, and I thought I might do a thread ball, as I call it, behind all of the numbers, but then what I decided to do was just tie some thread around the number 7, and you will see my trusty helper, my 15-year-old, with his finger so that I could tie the knot in there. This is just a Prima glue pen. I love this Prima glue pen. I use it for all sorts of things, and I've stuck all of my letters down. Lots of elements that I stick on the outside pockets of pages I've used to stick this down with, and I have no issue with it coming up. And I like the fact that it dries clear and it doesn't dry crunchy, and it doesn't dry where you can see it on the flip side of the page, which is also a really nice feature of that to me. So I am just tying that gold thread. What I did was I tripled it so that I had a couple of pieces, and it just adds a little bit of texture to the title page there. There's my 15-year-old's thumb, or pointer finger, I guess. And then I wanted a little bit more. I wanted my page to be really simple. I do have an intent page, but that will be on something behind this, I believe. So I took the stickers that come with this Fa La 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 collection, and I just bannered it. I've put a little notch in either end, again, just for a little bit more of a festive. The star has lots of angles in it, and I thought the angles with the Merry Christmas notched would look great. And so that is the shaker pocket, and I just used a few of these puffy stars to finish things up. Again, it's a very simple title page, but it works very, very effectively. So in a minute, I'm going to show you some close-ups. In addition to the close-ups, there is a close-up of this sequins collection that I used. It's called Oh What Fun. It's from SpiegelMom Scraps. Sequins is great in December daily, and so if you decide to go shopping and you use Suzanna with a Z, 15, you'll get 15% off, and she has some great Christmas collections to look forward to. So thanks for stopping in today. Take care, and don't forget to come back on Thursday to see another December daily video.